You wake up feeling behind, like no matter how hard you try, abundance keeps slipping through your fingers. That feeling isn't fate, it's programming. The thoughts and words you start your day with are either attracting success or pushing it away. In this video, you'll learn powerful morning affirmations to shift your mindset from lack to limitless, rewire your energy for abundance, and manifest the wealth, confidence, and peace you deserve. It's time to start your day in power, not pressure. The moment you open your eyes in the morning, you stand at the threshold of creation. And what you choose to think in those first sacred moments will determine the entire landscape of your day, because your mind is like a garden, and the thoughts you plant at dawn are the seeds that will grow into the experiences you harvest by sunset. You see, most people wake up and immediately begin to worry. They think about their problems. They think about what went wrong yesterday. They think about the bills they must pay or the difficulties that await them. And in doing so, they are watering the weeds instead of the flowers. They are feeding the very things they do not want. And then they wonder why their lives are filled with struggle and disappointment. But you can choose differently. You can decide right now, in this very moment, that you will take control of your morning thoughts. That you will become the master of your mind rather than its slave. And when you do this, when you truly commit to beginning each day with powerful affirmations, you will discover that the entire universe begins to rearrange itself to match the beautiful pictures you are painting in your consciousness. A man once told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he woke up every morning feeling heavy and burdened, that he could not seem to shake the feeling of dread that came over him the moment he opened his eyes. And Dr. Murphy asked him a simple question. He asked, "What are you thinking about when you first wake up?" And the man admitted that he immediately began to think about all his troubles, all his fears, all the things that could go wrong. Murphy explained to him that this was like a farmer going out to his field and planting thorns and thistles and then expecting to harvest wheat and roses. It simply cannot be done. Because the law of your mind is exact and impersonal, it does not judge your thoughts as good or bad. It simply accepts what you give it and brings forth circumstances to match. Your subconscious mind is working for you day and night. It never sleeps, it never rests. It is always creating, always manifesting, always bringing into your experience the equivalent of your habitual thinking. And if you want to change your life, if you want to experience more joy, more abundance, more peace, more love, then you must begin by changing what you think about when you first wake up, because those morning thoughts are the most powerful thoughts of all. They set the tone, they establish the vibration, they create the atmosphere in which you will live for the next 16 or 18 hours. When you wake up tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you think about your schedule, before you allow any worry or fear to enter your mind, you will take a few moments to speak these words to yourself. You will say, "I am grateful for this new day. I am filled with energy and enthusiasm. I am surrounded by infinite possibilities. I am guided by divine wisdom in all that I do. I am healthy. I am prosperous. I am loved. I am exactly where I need to be." And as you speak these words, you must feel them. You must let them sink deep into your heart. You must allow them to become more real to you than the circumstances you can see with your physical eyes. Because your feelings are the language your subconscious understands. Your feelings are the creative force that moves the invisible into the visible. And when you combine your words with sincere feeling, you are using the greatest power in the universe. Now you must understand that affirmations are not magic words that work simply because you repeat them like a parrot repeats sounds without understanding. Affirmations are scientific tools for impressing your subconscious mind with new beliefs, with new patterns, with new expectations. And they work according to a precise law, the law that says whatever you impress upon your subconscious mind with feeling and repetition will eventually manifest in your outer world as conditions, circumstances, and events. A woman once came to Dr. Joseph Murphy and said that she had been saying affirmations for weeks, but nothing was changing in her life. She was still broke, she was still lonely, she was still unhappy. And when Dr. Murphy listened to how she was saying her affirmations, he discovered that she was speaking the words with doubt in her heart. She was saying, I am prosperous while thinking about her empty bank account. She was saying, I am loved while feeling the loneliness in her chest. And this is like trying to drive a car with one foot on the gas pedal and one foot on the brake. You cannot move forward this way. You will only wear yourself out and remain exactly where you are. When you speak your morning affirmations, you must speak them with conviction, with faith, with the absolute certainty that what you are declaring is already true in the invisible realm and is now making its way into your visible experience. Because your subconscious mind does not know the difference between a real experience and an imagined experience, it accepts whatever you give it with feeling as truth, and it immediately goes to work to make that truth manifest in your life. If you wake up and say, I am healthy and strong while your body may be tired or weak, you are not lying. You are not deceiving yourself. You are claiming your spiritual birthright. You are affirming the truth of your real being. You are aligning yourself with the infinite healing power that flows through all creation. And as you continue to affirm this truth morning after morning, your body must respond, your cells must respond, your entire physical organism must begin to conform to the pattern you are impressing upon your deeper mind. The morning is the most important time because your mind is fresh. It is open. It is receptive. It has not yet been cluttered with the thousands of thoughts that will bombard you throughout the day. And in this quiet, receptive state, you can plant your affirmations deep in the fertile soil of your subconscious, where they will take root and grow and eventually bear fruit in your experience. You would never go out to plant a garden in the middle of a storm. You would wait for the right conditions. You would prepare the soil. You would choose the right time. And this is exactly what you are doing when you practice morning affirmations. You are choosing the right time, the right conditions, the right moment to plant the seeds of your desires. And if you will be faithful to this practice, if you will commit to speaking powerful affirmations every single morning without fail, you will be amazed at how quickly your life begins to transform, how doors begin to open, how opportunities begin to appear, how the right people begin to come into your life at exactly the right time, because you are now cooperating with the law. You are now working with the creative power of your mind instead of against it, and this power always responds, it always delivers. It never fails those who use it correctly with faith and persistence and feeling. There are certain affirmations that are particularly powerful for starting your day right, affirmations that address the fundamental aspects of human life. And when you speak these affirmations with sincerity and feeling, you are building a strong foundation for everything else that follows. You are establishing yourself in a consciousness of abundance and peace and joy that nothing can shake. Begin your morning by affirming, I am filled with divine life and energy. This one simple statement connects you to the infinite source of all vitality. It reminds your subconscious mind that you are not separate from the life force that animates all things, that you are not dependent on circumstances or conditions for your energy, that you carry within you an inexhaustible wellspring of power and enthusiasm and strength. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he was always exhausted, that he dragged himself through each day feeling depleted and worn out. And Dr. Murphy asked him what he said to himself when he woke up, and the man admitted that his first thought every morning was, I am so tired, I don't want to get up, I wish I could stay in bed all day. And Dr. Murphy explained that this man was literally draining his own energy with his negative affirmations. He was telling his subconscious mind to produce tiredness and exhaustion, and his subconscious mind was simply obeying his command. It was giving him exactly what he was asking for through his habitual thoughts. When you affirm, I am filled with divine life and energy, you are giving your subconscious mind a new command. You are instructing it to release vitality, to activate strength, and to flood your body with renewed vigor. And your subconscious mind will obey this command just as faithfully as it obeyed the negative command. Because it does not care which command you give it, it simply responds to the pattern you impress upon it most deeply. Another powerful morning affirmation is, I am guided by infinite intelligence in all my decisions today. This affirmation acknowledges that you do not have to figure everything out with your conscious mind alone, that there is a deeper wisdom within you that knows exactly what you should do and when you should do it and how you should do it. And when you claim this guidance at the start of your day, you are opening yourself to inspiration. to intuition, to those sudden flashes of insight that show you the perfect solution to any problem. You see, many people struggle and strain and worry because they think they must rely entirely on their limited human intellect. They think they must analyze and calculate and plan every detail. And while there is nothing wrong with using your reasoning mind, you must understand that your reasoning mind is only the surface of your consciousness. Beneath it lies the infinite intelligence of your subconscious mind, which is connected to all knowledge, to all wisdom, to all creative ideas. And when you affirm that you are guided by this intelligence, you are giving yourself permission to relax, to trust, to know that you will be shown the right path at the right moment. A woman once said she was paralyzed by indecision. She could not make even simple choices without agonizing for days, and when she began to affirm every morning that she was guided by infinite intelligence, she found that decisions became easier, that she began to have clear, intuitive feelings about which direction to take, that she stopped second-guessing herself constantly because she had established a new belief in her subconscious mind, the belief that she was connected to a source of wisdom far greater than her conscious mind alone. Every morning you must also affirm, "I am prosperous, I am successful, I am surrounded by abundance," and you must say these words regardless of what your bank account looks like, regardless of what your current circumstances appear to be. Because you are not describing your present situation. You are creating your future situation. You are impressing a new pattern upon your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind will accept this pattern and begin to attract people and circumstances and opportunities that correspond to your new belief about yourself. The mistake that most people make is that they look at their current conditions and then choose their affirmations based on those conditions. They say, "I will affirm prosperity when I have money. I will affirm success when I achieve something. I will affirm abundance when I see evidence of abundance." But this is backwards. This is like a farmer saying, "I will plant seeds when I see crops growing in my field," but it cannot work this way. The seeds must come first. The inner acceptance must come first. The affirmation must come first. And then the outer manifestation will follow in due time. A man once told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he felt like a hypocrite affirming prosperity while he was in debt. He said it felt dishonest to say, "I am prosperous," when he could barely pay his bills. And Dr. Murphy explained to him that he was not being dishonest. He was being scientific. He was using the law of his mind correctly. He was planting the seeds of prosperity in his consciousness so that the harvest of prosperity could appear in his experience. And if he would continue with faith and persistence, refusing to be discouraged by appearances, the prosperity he was affirming would become his reality. You must understand that your subconscious mind is like a garden that will grow whatever you plant in it. If you plant poverty thoughts, you will harvest poverty conditions. If you plant prosperity thoughts, you will harvest prosperity conditions. And the morning is the best time to plant because your mind is most receptive, most open, most ready to accept new seeds. When you say, "I am prosperous," you are not denying your current circumstances. You are not pretending that bills do not exist. You are simply choosing to identify with your spiritual reality rather than your temporary material reality. You are choosing to align yourself with the infinite abundance of the universe rather than with the appearance of lack. And as you make this choice day after day, morning after morning, your outer world must eventually conform to your inner conviction. Because the outer is always a reflection of the inner, the visible is always a result of the invisible. And what you consistently hold in your consciousness with feeling must eventually manifest in your experience. Another essential morning affirmation is, "I am loved, I am loving, I radiate love to everyone I meet." This affirmation dissolves the walls of separation that people build around their hearts. It opens you to give and receive love freely. It establishes you in the consciousness that you are not alone, that you are connected to all humanity through the bond of divine love. And when you go forth into your day carrying this consciousness, people will respond to you differently. They will be drawn to you. They will want to help you. They will feel safe and comfortable in your presence. Because love is the most powerful force in the universe, and when you consciously affirm it and radiate it, you become a magnet for all good things. You must also begin each morning by affirming, "I forgive everyone who has ever hurt me, and I release all resentment from my heart." Because resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It hurts only you. It blocks your good. It keeps you chained to the past. It prevents the free flow of life through your consciousness. And no matter how justified you may feel in holding on to your anger or your hurt, you must release it if you want to experience peace and joy and abundance in your life. A woman told Dr. Joseph Murphy that she could not forgive her former husband who had betrayed her and abandoned her. She said that what he did was too terrible to forgive, that he did not deserve forgiveness. And Dr. Murphy explained to her that forgiveness is not about the other person. Forgiveness is about you. It is about setting yourself free. It is about removing the hooks that keep you attached to painful memories. And until you forgive, you are still giving that person power over you. You are still allowing them to disturb your peace. You are still letting them control your emotional state, even though they may be thousands of miles away or may not even be thinking about you at all. When you affirm, "I forgive everyone," you are not saying that what they did was acceptable. You are not saying that they were right. You are simply saying that you refuse to carry this burden any longer, that you choose peace over resentment, that you choose freedom over bondage. And as you make this choice morning after morning, you will feel the heavy weight lifting from your heart. You will feel the darkness dissolving. You will feel a new lightness and joy beginning to fill your being. Because you have released yourself from prison, you have cut the chains that bound you to suffering. Along with forgiveness, you must affirm, "I trust the process of life. I know that everything is working together for my good." And this affirmation is particularly important because life often brings situations that your conscious mind cannot understand, events that seem unfair or untimely or painful. And if you judge these events as bad or wrong, if you resist them and fight against them, you create unnecessary suffering for yourself. You block the good that is trying to come to you through these experiences. Everything that happens in your life is an opportunity for growth, for learning, for expansion. Even the difficult things, even the painful things, even the things that seem like setbacks are actually setups for something better. But you can only see this if you maintain faith, if you trust the process, if you affirm that everything is working together for your good, even when you cannot see how. A man once said that he lost his job and thought his life was over. He was angry and bitter and felt that the universe had betrayed him. But he began to affirm every morning that everything was working together for his good. He began to trust the process, even though he did not understand it. And within a few months, he found a new position that paid better and was more fulfilling than his old job. And he realized that losing his job was not a tragedy, but a blessing in disguise. It was the universe's way of moving him to where he truly belonged. When you affirm trust in the morning, you are setting yourself up to move through the day with peace instead of anxiety, with confidence instead of fear, with expectancy instead of dread, because you have established in your consciousness the belief that you are being guided, that you are being protected, that you are being led to your highest good. And this belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It attracts experiences that confirm it. It brings people and circumstances that support it. It creates a life that reflects it. The final essential ingredient in your morning affirmation practice is gratitude, and you must begin each day by affirming, "I am grateful for all the blessings in my life. I give thanks for the good that is coming to me today." Because gratitude is the secret key that unlocks the door to greater abundance. It is the magnet that attracts more of what you want. It is the consciousness that multiplies your good and increases your joy and opens you to receive even more than you could ask or imagine. When you are grateful, you are acknowledging the good that already exists in your life. You are recognizing the gifts you have been given. You are focusing on what is working rather than on what is broken. And this focus is incredibly powerful because your subconscious mind moves toward whatever you concentrate upon. If you concentrate on problems, you get more problems. If you concentrate on blessings, you get more blessings. It is really that simple. A woman once complained that she had nothing to be grateful for. She said her life was filled with lack and limitation and disappointment. And Dr. Joseph Murphy asked her, "Can you see? Can you hear? Can you walk? Can you breathe?" And as she answered yes to each question, he pointed out that she had already been given gifts of immeasurable value, gifts that many people would trade everything they owned to possess. And yet she had been taking these gifts for granted. She had been overlooking them. She had been focusing only on what she did not have rather than on what she did have, and this focus on lack was actually creating more lack in her life. When you begin your morning by counting your blessings, even if you must start with the most basic things, like the fact that you woke up, that you have another day, that you have air to breathe and eyes to see, you are shifting your consciousness from lack to abundance. You are training your mind to notice the good. You are opening yourself to receive more good, because the universe responds to gratitude with generosity. It gives more to those who appreciate what they already have. It multiplies the blessings of those who recognize their blessings. You must understand that your morning affirmations are not just words. They are seeds. They are instructions. They are creative forces. And when you speak them with faith and feeling and consistency, they will transform your life from the inside out. They will change your beliefs. They will change your expectations. They will change your consciousness. And when your consciousness changes, everything changes. Because you do not see the world as it is. You see the world as you are. And when you change who you are on the inside through these powerful affirmations, the world you see on the outside must change to match. Every single morning, before you do anything else, take 5 or 10 minutes to speak these affirmations, to feel them, to let them sink deep into your heart. And do not be discouraged if you do not see immediate results. Do not give up after a few days or a few weeks, because you are dealing with a law that is as reliable as the law of gravity. And just as an apple seed must be planted and watered and given time to grow before it produces apples, your affirmations must be repeated and felt and given time to impress themselves upon your subconscious mind before they produce results in your outer world. But if you will be patient, if you will be faithful, if you will persist in this practice, you will see miracles begin to happen in your life. You will see doors opening. You will see solutions appearing. You will see your whole life beginning to move in a new direction. The direction of your dreams, the direction of your desires, the direction of your highest good. Now you must understand that the power of your morning affirmations multiplies when you combine them with visualization. When you not only speak the words but also see yourself living the reality those words describe, because your subconscious mind thinks in pictures, it responds to images. It creates according to the mental movies you play in your imagination. And when you add clear, vivid pictures to your spoken affirmations, you are giving your subconscious mind a blueprint to follow, a pattern to reproduce, a goal to achieve. When you say, "I am healthy and strong," do not just speak these words mechanically, but close your eyes for a moment and see yourself moving with energy and vitality. See yourself feeling wonderful in your body. See yourself doing the things you love to do with ease and joy. And make this picture as real as you possibly can. Put color into it. Put feeling into it. Put life into it. Because the more real you make it in your imagination, the more quickly it will manifest in your experience. A man once told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had been affirming perfect health for months, but his condition was not improving. And when Dr. Murphy questioned him further, he discovered that this man was saying the right words, but he was visualizing the wrong pictures. He was speaking, "I am healthy," while imagining himself sick. He was declaring, "I am strong," while seeing himself weak and tired. And this contradiction was canceling out the power of his affirmations. It was like trying to go north and south at the same time. He could not make progress in either direction. Your imagination is the workshop of your mind. It is the place where all creation begins. Everything you see in the physical world was once an image in someone's imagination. The chair you sit on, the house you live in, the car you drive, the phone you hold. All of these things existed first as mental pictures before they became physical realities. And the same law applies to your personal life, your health, your relationships, your success, your happiness. All of these must first be created in your imagination before they can appear in your world. This is why your morning visualization is so crucial. Because when you take a few moments each morning to see yourself as you want to be, to imagine your day unfolding perfectly, to picture yourself successful and happy and surrounded by love, you are actually creating that reality in the invisible realm. You are building it in consciousness. You are giving your subconscious mind the exact specifications of what you want it to produce. And your subconscious mind is the builder. It is the creator. It will take your mental images and turn them into physical facts if you will give it clear pictures and if you will not interfere with doubts and fears and contradictory thoughts. Every morning, after you speak your affirmations, take 3 or 4 minutes to visualize your ideal day. See yourself waking up feeling wonderful. See yourself moving through your activities with grace and ease. See yourself handling any challenges that arise with wisdom and calm. See yourself interacting with others in love and harmony. See yourself ending the day with a sense of accomplishment and peace. And as you practice this morning visualization, you are literally rehearsing success. You are programming your subconscious mind for victory. You are setting up mental patterns that your outer experience must follow, because your outer world is always a mirror of your inner world. It always reflects back to you the images you hold most consistently in your consciousness. A woman said that she was afraid to visualize good things because she did not want to be disappointed if they did not happen, and this is a common fear. But Dr. Joseph Murphy explained that disappointment comes not from visualizing and affirming, but from doubting and contradicting. If you visualize health and then immediately worry about sickness, if you affirm prosperity and then immediately fear poverty, you are the one creating the disappointment. You are the one blocking your good. But if you will visualize with faith, if you will hold your mental pictures steady, if you will refuse to contaminate them with negative expectations, they must manifest. It is law, it is principle. It works as surely as mathematics works, and you can depend on it absolutely. Another powerful practice to add to your morning routine is speaking affirmations of protection and divine guidance, affirming, "I am surrounded by the white light of divine protection. No harm can come to me. I am safe. I am secure. I am watched over by infinite love." And when you establish this consciousness of protection at the beginning of your day, you create an invisible shield around yourself. You set up a vibration that repels negative circumstances. You align yourself with the protective power of the universe that always seeks to keep you safe and guide you away from danger. You see, many people go through life feeling vulnerable and afraid. They worry about accidents. They worry about illness. They worry about violence or betrayal or loss. And this constant worry actually attracts the very things they fear, because fear is a negative affirmation. It is a prayer for what you do not want. It is a command to your subconscious mind to create the conditions you are afraid of, and your subconscious mind obeys this command just as faithfully as it obeys a positive command. It does not question, it does not argue, it simply accepts what you give it and proceeds to make it real. When you affirm protection in the morning, you are replacing fear with faith. You are choosing to believe that you are being taken care of, that you are being guided, that you are living in a friendly universe that wants your good. And this belief becomes your experience. It shapes how you move through the world. It influences the decisions you make. It affects the people you encounter. It determines which situations you find yourself in and which situations you avoid. Because your consciousness is always creating your experience, always attracting circumstances that match your dominant beliefs. And when your dominant belief is, "I am protected, I am safe, I am guided," then protection and safety and guidance become your reality. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he was always having accidents, small things at first, then larger things. He cut himself, he bumped into objects, he had car troubles. He seemed to attract mishaps constantly, and when Dr. Murphy asked him about his habitual thoughts, the man admitted that he often said to himself, "I better be careful, or something bad will happen. I just know I'm going to get hurt. These things always happen to me." And Dr. Murphy showed him that he was literally programming himself for accidents through his negative affirmations. He was sending out a call for trouble, and trouble was answering. But when this man began to affirm protection every morning, when he began to say, "I am surrounded by divine protection, I am safe and secure in all my ways," the accidents stopped, his luck changed. He began to experience a sense of ease and safety that he had never known before. Because he had changed his consciousness, he had reprogrammed his subconscious mind, he had established a new pattern of belief that produced a new pattern of experience. Along with protection, you must affirm divine guidance, saying, "I am shown the right path, I make right decisions, I am led to right action. I am in my right place at the right time." Because when you affirm guidance, you are acknowledging that you do not have to figure everything out alone, that there is an infinite intelligence within you that knows exactly where you should go and what you should do and when you should do it. And this intelligence will guide you through intuition, through hunches, through sudden insights, through what some people call coincidences, but which are really the orchestration of your higher mind, arranging circumstances for your benefit. When you ask for guidance in your morning affirmations, and then trust that guidance throughout your day, you will find that you make better decisions, that you avoid problems before they develop, that you meet the right people at the right time, that opportunities open up in ways you could never have planned with your conscious mind alone. Because you are now cooperating with a power far greater than your limited human intellect, you are now tapping into the infinite wisdom that knows all and sees all and guides all who are willing to be guided. Your morning affirmations must also address your relationships, because no one lives in isolation. We are all interconnected. We all affect each other. We all influence each other. And the quality of your relationships will determine much of your happiness or unhappiness in life. So you must affirm every morning, "I attract loving, harmonious relationships. I see the divine in everyone I meet. I am a blessing to others, and others are a blessing to me." And as you speak these words with sincerity, you are setting up a magnetic field around yourself that draws loving people to you and harmonizes your interactions with everyone you encounter. The mistake that many people make is that they focus on what is wrong with other people. They criticize, they complain, they find fault, they hold grudges, they remember every slight and every insult, and then they wonder why their relationships are so difficult, why they feel so alone, why people seem so unfriendly or uncooperative. But what they do not realize is that they are seeing their own consciousness reflected back to them. They are experiencing their own judgmental, critical thoughts manifested as judgmental, critical people, because you always attract the equivalent of what you are, not what you want. And if you want to change the people in your life, you must first change yourself. You must first change how you think about others. You must first change the consciousness you bring to your relationships. When you affirm every morning that you attract loving, harmonious relationships, you are not trying to control other people or manipulate them or force them to behave a certain way. You are simply establishing within yourself a consciousness of love and harmony that naturally attracts people who resonate with that consciousness. And it also causes people who do not resonate with it to drift away from you. So your life becomes populated with individuals who are supportive and kind and helpful, while those who would drain you or harm you simply lose interest in maintaining contact with you, not because you pushed them away, but because there is no longer a vibrational match between you and them. A woman once said that everyone at her workplace was mean and difficult, that she dreaded going to work because her co-workers were so unpleasant. And Dr. Joseph Murphy asked her how she thought about these co-workers, what she said about them in her mind, and she admitted that she constantly criticized them. She judged them harshly. She complained about them to others, and Dr. Murphy explained that she was actually creating the very behavior she was complaining about. She was calling it forth through her negative focus, and he instructed her to begin each morning by affirming, "I work with wonderful people. I am surrounded by kindness and cooperation. Everyone I meet today is doing the best they can. And at first, this felt false to her. It felt like she was lying. But she agreed to try it. And within a few weeks, she noticed that her co-workers seemed different. They seemed friendlier. They seemed more helpful. And she realized that they had not changed. She had changed. Her perception had changed. And this change in perception had altered how she interacted with them, which in turn altered how they interacted with her. Because relationships are always a two-way mirror, they always reflect back to you the energy you send out. And when you send out love and acceptance and goodwill, that is what returns to you multiplied. In your morning affirmations, you must also speak words of forgiveness for anyone who has hurt you, saying, I release all resentment, I forgive completely, I am free from the past, because unforgiveness is a chain that binds you to pain. It keeps you stuck in old stories. It prevents you from moving forward into new joy. And every morning that you choose to affirm forgiveness, you are choosing freedom. You are choosing peace. You are choosing to stop punishing yourself for what someone else did. Because that is what resentment really is. It is self-punishment. It is you drinking poison and hoping someone else will suffer. And it never works. It only makes you sick. It only makes you bitter. It only makes you small and hard and closed. But forgiveness makes you large and soft and open. It releases the life force to flow through you again. It allows love to enter. It creates space for new and better relationships to develop. You must also use your morning affirmations to establish the consciousness of success in your work and career, affirming, I am successful in all my endeavors. I am creative and capable. I bring value to everything I do. My talents are recognized and rewarded. I am in the right work for me. And when you speak these words every morning, you are impressing upon your subconscious mind a pattern of success. You are building within yourself the expectation of achievement. You are creating the inner conditions that must eventually produce outer success, because success always begins in consciousness before it manifests in circumstances. Many people struggle in their work because they carry a consciousness of failure. They expect things to go wrong. They doubt their abilities. They focus on their limitations. They compare themselves unfavorably to others, and all of this negative thinking creates a negative reality. It produces the very failure they fear. It brings forth circumstances that confirm their poor self-image. And then they say, see, I knew I couldn't do it. I knew I wasn't good enough. But what they do not understand is that they created this outcome through their habitual thoughts. They programmed themselves for failure. They used the creative power of their mind in a negative direction. When you begin each day by affirming success, you are reversing this process. You are programming yourself for achievement. You are establishing within your subconscious mind the belief that you are capable, that you are talented, that you have something valuable to offer, and this belief will affect everything you do. It will give you confidence. It will inspire you with ideas. It will cause you to take actions you would not have taken before. It will lead you to opportunities you would not have noticed before. And it will cause other people to see you differently, to recognize your value, to want to work with you or hire you or promote you, because people respond to the consciousness you carry. They sense your self-belief or your self-doubt, and they treat you accordingly. A man once complained that he had been passed over for promotion 3 times, that less qualified people kept getting the positions he wanted, and Dr. Joseph Murphy asked him what he thought about himself and his abilities, and the man admitted that he often thought, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't deserve to succeed. And these thoughts were like a banner he was carrying that everyone could see. His employers could sense his lack of self-belief. They could feel his uncertainty, and naturally they chose people who had confidence, who believed in themselves, who expected to succeed. When this man began to affirm every morning, I am highly qualified, I am recognized for my abilities, I deserve success, and I expect success, his entire demeanor changed. He carried himself differently. He spoke differently. He approached his work differently. And within 6 months, he was promoted to a position even better than the ones he had been passed over for. Because he had changed his consciousness, he had removed the invisible barrier that had been blocking his advancement. He had aligned himself with success in his mind, and success appeared in his life. Your morning affirmations about success should be specific to your situation. If you are looking for a new job, affirm, "I am guided to the perfect position for me." If you are building a business, affirm, "My business prospers and grows." If you are working on a creative project, affirm, "I am filled with creative ideas, and I express them beautifully." But whatever your specific circumstances, the key is to affirm success every single morning without fail. To impress this pattern so deeply into your subconscious mind that it becomes your automatic belief, your default expectation, your natural way of seeing yourself. And when this happens, when success becomes your inner reality, it must become your outer reality as well, because the outer always follows the inner. The circumstances always conform to consciousness. And what you are in mind, you become in manifestation. Finally, you must end your morning affirmation practice by affirming the consciousness of peace and joy, saying, "I am at peace with myself and the world. I choose joy in every moment. I am calm and centered regardless of outer circumstances." Because peace and joy are not things you find in the world. They are things you bring to the world. They are qualities of consciousness that you must establish within yourself through deliberate choice and daily practice. And when you affirm these qualities every morning, you are setting the emotional tone for your entire day. You are deciding in advance how you will feel. You are choosing your inner state, rather than allowing your inner state to be determined by outer conditions. Most people have it backwards. They think that peace and joy come from having everything go their way, from getting what they want, from having pleasant circumstances, and so they are constantly at the mercy of conditions. They are happy when things are good and upset when things are bad. They are on an emotional roller coaster that exhausts them and depletes their energy and prevents them from ever feeling truly secure or content, because conditions are always changing, circumstances are always shifting, and if your peace depends on circumstances, you will never have lasting peace. You will always be vulnerable. You will always be one problem away from losing your center. But when you affirm peace every morning, when you declare, "I am at peace regardless of what happens today," you are establishing peace as your foundation. You are making it your starting point rather than your hoped-for destination. And from this foundation of peace, you can handle anything that comes. You can remain calm in chaos. You can maintain your clarity when others are confused. You can be a source of strength and stability for those around you, because you are no longer dependent on outer conditions for your inner state. You have claimed peace as your birthright. You have made it your choice. You have established it as your truth. A woman told Dr. Joseph Murphy that she was always anxious, that she woke up every morning with a knot in her stomach, that she worried constantly about everything that could go wrong, and this anxiety was ruining her health and her relationships and her ability to enjoy life. And Dr. Joseph Murphy taught her to begin each morning by affirming, "I am at peace, I am divinely protected, all is well in my world," and to say these words over and over until she felt the anxiety beginning to dissolve, until she felt a sense of calm replacing the tension. And at first this took a long time, sometimes 15 or 20 minutes of repetition before the peace came. But as she continued this practice day after day, the peace came more quickly. And eventually she found that just speaking the words once or twice was enough to shift her state, because she had trained her subconscious mind to associate those words with peace. She had created a new pattern, a new pathway, a new automatic response. And where there had been anxiety, there was now tranquility. Where there had been fear, there was now trust. Where there had been suffering, there was now serenity. Joy is the same. It is a choice. It is a decision. It is a consciousness you can cultivate through morning affirmations, saying, "I choose joy. I am grateful for this day. I find pleasure in simple things. I allow myself to be happy." And as you speak these words, you must feel them. You must reach for that feeling of joy, even if your circumstances seem to argue against it. Because joy is not a response to conditions. Joy is a spiritual quality. It is your natural state when you are aligned with the infinite life within you. When you are connected to the source of all good, when you are open to the beauty and wonder that surrounds you always if you have eyes to see it. When you affirm joy every morning, you are training yourself to notice the good, to appreciate the blessings, to find reasons for gladness even in difficult times, and this habit of joy attracts more joy. It multiplies itself. It grows and expands until your whole life becomes an expression of it. Because what you focus on increases. What you appreciate multiplies. What you celebrate comes back to you in greater measure, and if you will be faithful to your morning practice of affirming peace and joy, you will discover that these qualities become stronger in you day by day, month by month, year by year, until you reach a point where nothing can really disturb you, where you have found an inner sanctuary that no outer circumstance can invade, where you dwell in a consciousness of such deep contentment that you become a light to others, a blessing to everyone you meet, a living demonstration of what is possible when a human being takes control of their thoughts and deliberately creates their inner world through the power of the spoken word, combined with faith and feeling and persistent daily practice. Now, you must understand that the power of morning affirmations is not released through occasional practice or sporadic effort. The power comes through consistency, through daily repetition, through making this practice as regular and automatic as brushing your teeth or eating your breakfast. Because your subconscious mind learns through repetition, it accepts new patterns through consistent impression. It changes its beliefs slowly and gradually as you persist in feeding it the same thoughts over and over again without deviation or interruption. A man once said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that he tried affirmations for a week and nothing happened, so he gave up. And Dr. Murphy asked him, would you plant a garden and then dig up the seeds after a week because you don't see plants yet? Would you expect a child to learn mathematics after attending school for only 7 days? Would you expect your body to become strong and fit after exercising for just 1 week? And of course, the man had to admit that these expectations would be ridiculous, that growth and change take time, that results come to those who persist. And Dr. Joseph Murphy explained that the same principle applies to affirmations. You cannot speak positive words for a few days and expect to undo years or decades of negative programming. You cannot impress a new belief on your subconscious mind with a casual, half-hearted effort. You must be willing to commit to this practice for as long as it takes. You must be willing to continue even when you see no immediate evidence of change, because the change is happening beneath the surface. The seeds are germinating in the dark soil of your subconscious mind, and if you will just keep watering them with your daily affirmations, they will eventually break through into visibility, and you will see the harvest you have been seeking. Every morning, without exception, whether you feel like it or not. Whether you are tired or energetic, whether you are home or traveling, whether circumstances seem favorable or unfavorable, you must take time to speak your affirmations, because consistency is the key that unlocks the door to transformation. Consistency is the force that impresses new patterns on your subconscious mind. Consistency is what separates those who succeed from those who fail, those who overcome from those who give up, those who transform their lives from those who remain stuck in the same old problems year after year. You see, your subconscious mind is like a path through a forest. If you walk the same path every single day, eventually the grass is worn away and a clear trail appears. But if you walk the path only occasionally, the grass grows back and the path disappears. And this is exactly what happens with your thoughts and beliefs. When you think the same thoughts consistently, when you speak the same affirmations daily, you are creating clear pathways in your consciousness. You are establishing automatic patterns that your mind will follow effortlessly. But if you practice sporadically, if you affirm one day and doubt the next, if you are enthusiastic for a while and then neglect your practice, the old pathways remain dominant. The old patterns continue to control your life, and you wonder why nothing changes. A woman told Dr. Joseph Murphy that her life had completely transformed after she committed to saying her morning affirmations every single day for 6 months without missing even one day. She said that at first it felt like nothing was happening. She was tempted many times to quit. She doubted whether the affirmations were working, but she had made a commitment to herself, and she kept it. And somewhere around the 3rd month, she began to notice small changes, opportunities appearing, people being more helpful, problems resolving themselves, and by the 6th month, her entire life looked different. She had a better job, better relationships, more money, more peace, more joy. And she realized that the affirmations had been working all along, even when she couldn't see the evidence. They had been changing her consciousness day by day, building a new foundation, creating a new reality that suddenly manifested all at once, like a plant that has been growing underground and finally breaks through the surface. This is why you must never judge by appearances. You must never let the lack of immediate results discourage you. You must trust the process. You must have faith in the law. You must know with absolute certainty that your consistent daily affirmations are doing their work in the invisible realm and will eventually produce visible results, because this is law, this is principle, this is how your mind works. And you can depend on it just as surely as you depend on the sun to rise every morning. The foundation of all successful affirmation practice is faith. You must believe that your words have power. You must believe that your subconscious mind is responding. You must believe that the law of mind is working for you even when you cannot see it. Because without faith, your affirmations are just empty sounds. They are like seeds thrown on concrete instead of soil. They cannot take root. They cannot grow. They cannot produce the harvest you desire. Faith is not blind belief in something impossible. Faith is confidence in the law of your own consciousness. It is trust in the principle that your inner world creates your outer world. It is the understanding that thoughts consistently held in mind must eventually manifest as conditions. And this is not superstition or wishful thinking. This is science. This is how consciousness works. This is the fundamental law that governs all of life. And when you understand this law and apply it with faith, you become a deliberate creator instead of a victim of circumstances. You become the master of your destiny instead of a slave to conditions. You become the author of your life story instead of a character being written by external forces. A man once said that he could not have faith because he needed to see proof first. He said, "I'll believe it when I see it." And Dr. Joseph Murphy explained that this is backwards. This is the opposite of how creation works. You must believe it before you see it. You must have faith in the invisible before it becomes visible. You must accept it in consciousness before it appears in circumstances, because consciousness is cause and circumstances are effect. The inner is the creator and the outer is the created. And if you wait for the outer to change before you change the inner, you will wait forever. You will remain stuck in the same reality, because the outer cannot change until the inner changes first. This is why the morning is so important. This is why you must begin each day by affirming what you want to experience, rather than by observing what currently exists. Because in the morning you are setting the cause in motion, you are planting the seeds. You are impressing the pattern on your subconscious mind. And if you will do this with faith, if you will speak your affirmations as though they are already true, if you will feel the reality of them in your heart, even though your physical senses may tell you something different, then your subconscious mind will accept your words as commands and will proceed to rearrange your outer circumstances to match your inner convictions. Faith is not hoping that something might happen. Faith is knowing that it must happen because you have set the law in motion. You have planted the seed. You have impressed the pattern. And now the law must produce the result, just as surely as an acorn must produce an oak tree if it is planted in good soil and given time to grow. When you speak your morning affirmations, you must speak them with this kind of faith, this absolute certainty, this unwavering conviction that what you are declaring is true in the invisible realm and is now making its way into manifestation in the visible realm. And if doubt tries to creep in, if fear tries to contradict your affirmations, If circumstances try to argue against your words, you must stand firm in your faith. You must refuse to waver. You must continue to affirm and visualize and feel the reality of your desired good until it appears, because the only thing that can stop the law from working is your own doubt, your own fear, your own contradiction of the pattern you are trying to establish. A woman said that she had faith some days, but not other days. She said her faith went up and down depending on how she felt or what was happening in her life. And Dr. Joseph Murphy explained that this is not faith at all. This is just emotion. This is just reaction to circumstances. True faith is steady. It is constant. It is not moved by appearances. It is not shaken by temporary setbacks. It is not discouraged by delays. Because true faith understands that the law is always working, that the seed is always growing even when you cannot see it, that your affirmations are always producing results, even when the results are not yet visible. And this understanding gives you patience. It gives you persistence. It gives you the strength to continue your morning practice, day after day, regardless of what you see or don't see in your outer world. Because you know that you are dealing with a law that never fails, with a principle that always works, with a power that always responds to those who use it correctly. One of the greatest challenges you will face in your morning affirmation practice is overcoming the negative thoughts that try to contradict your positive statements, the doubts that whisper you're just fooling yourself, the fears that say this isn't working, the old beliefs that argue against your new affirmations. Because these negative thoughts are the old programming of your subconscious mind, they are the habits of thought you have been practicing for years or decades, and they will not disappear overnight. They will not surrender without a fight. They will keep trying to reassert themselves, to pull you back into the old patterns, to convince you that nothing is changing and nothing ever will change. When you affirm, "I am prosperous," and a voice in your head immediately says, "But you're broke." When you affirm, "I am healthy," and your body reminds you of pain. When you affirm, "I am loved," and your mind shows you memories of rejection, you must understand that this is normal. This is the old consciousness trying to maintain control. This is the old programming resisting the new programming, and you must not let these negative thoughts discourage you or make you quit. Instead, you must recognize them for what they are, which is simply old mental habits, old recordings playing in your mind, old beliefs that are on their way out if you will persist in replacing them with new beliefs through your daily affirmations. The way to handle these contradictory thoughts is not to fight them or resist them or try to suppress them, because what you resist persists. What you fight against grows stronger, and what you try to push away keeps coming back. Instead, you must simply refuse to give these thoughts your attention, refuse to believe them, refuse to let them upset you, and immediately replace them with your positive affirmation spoken even more firmly and with even more feeling than before. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that every time he tried to affirm prosperity, a loud voice in his head shouted, "You're a failure, you'll never have money, you don't deserve success." And this voice was so convincing and so persistent that he felt defeated before he even finished his morning practice. And Dr. Joseph Murphy explained that this was just the old subconscious programming trying to protect itself, trying to maintain the status quo, trying to keep him stuck in the familiar patterns, even though those patterns were painful and limiting. And the way to overcome this voice was not to argue with it, or analyze it, or try to understand where it came from, but simply to keep affirming the opposite with confidence and conviction, to keep speaking words of prosperity until the old voice grew weaker and weaker and finally faded away completely. Because you can only hold one thought in your conscious mind at a time, and if you are deliberately choosing to affirm prosperity, you cannot simultaneously entertain thoughts of poverty, you cannot simultaneously believe in lack, you cannot simultaneously accept failure. And as you continue to choose the positive thought over and over again, as you continue to affirm your good morning after morning, the positive thought becomes stronger, it becomes more familiar, it becomes your new automatic response. And the negative thought loses its power, it loses its grip, it eventually dissolves because you have stopped feeding it with your attention. This is why persistence is so crucial. This is why you must not give up when the negative thoughts arise. This is why you must continue your morning affirmation practice faithfully, even when doubt and fear try to discourage you. Because every time you choose the positive affirmation over the negative thought, you are weakening the old pattern and strengthening the new pattern. You are training your mind to think differently. You are building new neural pathways. You are creating new habits of consciousness that will eventually become automatic and effortless. A woman said that she found it helpful to write down her affirmations and read them aloud every morning, because seeing the words on paper and hearing her own voice speaking them made them feel more real, made them harder for the negative thoughts to contradict. And this is an excellent technique, because the more senses you involve in your affirmation practice, the more deeply you impress the affirmations on your subconscious mind. So if you write them and read them and speak them and visualize them and feel them, you are creating a powerful multisensory experience that your subconscious mind cannot ignore. It must respond. It must accept. It must create according to the pattern you are giving it, with such clarity and intensity and repetition. There is tremendous power in speaking your affirmations aloud rather than just thinking them silently, because when you speak, you are adding the vibration of sound to the power of thought. You are engaging your voice, which is a creative instrument. You are hearing your own words with your physical ears, which impresses them more deeply on your subconscious mind. And you are also declaring your intentions to the universe in a more definite and committed way than silent thought alone can do. Your voice carries power, it carries authority, it carries creative force. And when you use your voice to affirm your good, you are setting in motion vibrations that extend beyond your physical body, that go out into the world around you, that affect the energy field you are moving through. And this is why people who regularly speak affirmations often notice that others begin to treat them differently, that opportunities begin to appear, that circumstances begin to shift, because they have literally changed the vibration they are emitting through their spoken words. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he felt silly speaking affirmations out loud, especially when other people might hear him. And Dr. Joseph Murphy asked him if he felt silly when he complained out loud, if he felt silly when he spoke words of worry or fear or doubt. And the man had to admit that he spoke negative things all the time without feeling self-conscious about it. And Dr. Joseph Murphy pointed out that if he was willing to speak negativity freely, surely he should be even more willing to speak positivity. Surely he should be eager to use his voice in a way that would create good in his life instead of harm. And the man realized that his reluctance to speak affirmations was really just another form of resistance, another way his old programming was trying to keep him stuck. And when he pushed through this resistance and began to speak his affirmations boldly and clearly every morning, he discovered that it felt empowering. It felt liberating. It felt like he was taking control of his life in a way he never had before. You do not need to shout your affirmations. You do not need to speak them in a strange or unnatural voice. You simply speak them in a normal conversational tone, but with conviction, with feeling, with the sense that you are stating facts rather than wishes, that you are declaring truth rather than hoping for change. And this quality of conviction in your voice makes all the difference, because your subconscious mind responds to the emotional tone behind your words even more than to the words themselves. So if you speak affirmations in a doubtful, hesitant voice, your subconscious receives the message of doubt. But if you speak affirmations in a confident, certain voice, your subconscious receives the message of certainty, and it proceeds accordingly. It creates according to the predominant feeling you are broadcasting. Every morning when you speak your affirmations, pay attention to how you sound. Notice if your voice is strong or weak, confident or uncertain, enthusiastic or mechanical. And if you notice weakness or doubt in your voice, consciously strengthen it. Consciously put more conviction into it. Consciously speak as though you absolutely know without any question that what you are saying is true and real and already manifesting in your life. Because this is not pretending. This is not being fake. This is aligning yourself with spiritual truth. This is claiming your divine inheritance. This is speaking from your highest self rather than from your limited ego. And when you speak from this place of truth and power, your words become commands. They become creative forces. They become seeds that must bear fruit. A woman discovered that singing her affirmations made them even more powerful than just speaking them. She would make up simple melodies and sing, "I am healthy, I am happy, I am prosperous, I am loved." And she found that the combination of words and music and voice created such a joyful vibration that she could feel it changing her energy immediately. She could feel herself lifting into a higher state of consciousness, and this higher state naturally attracted better circumstances into her life, because your outer world always matches your inner state. And when you use your voice in creative, joyful ways, you raise your vibration, that you open yourself to receive. You become a magnet for all good things. Every morning when you speak your affirmations, you are not just hoping for a better day. You are actually creating your day. You are setting the template. You are establishing the pattern. You are choosing in advance how you will experience the next 16 or 18 hours. And this is one of the most empowering realizations you can have, because it means you are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are not a victim of conditions. You are not helpless before the events that unfold. Instead, you are a creator. You are a chooser. You are an active participant in shaping your reality through the power of your consciousness. Most people wake up and immediately begin to react to their day. They check their phone and react to messages. They think about their schedule and react with stress or anxiety. They remember their problems and react with worry. And so they spend their entire day in reaction mode. They are always responding to what is happening outside of them. They are always being pushed and pulled by external forces, and they feel powerless. They feel overwhelmed. They feel like life is happening to them rather than through them or for them. But when you begin your day with affirmations, when you take those first precious morning moments to consciously choose your thoughts and feelings and expectations, you shift from reaction mode to creation mode. You shift from being the effect to being the cause. You shift from allowing circumstances to determine your consciousness to letting your consciousness determine your circumstances. And this shift changes everything, because now you are in the driver's seat. Now you are steering your life. Now you are using the creative power that was always yours, but that you had forgotten how to use. When you affirm this is going to be a wonderful day, when you say, "I expect good things to happen to me today," when you declare, "I am calm and centered no matter what occurs," you are literally programming your day. You are setting up probabilities. You are activating the law of attraction. You are sending out a signal to the universe about what you want to experience. And the universe must respond to that signal. It must bring you people and circumstances and opportunities that match your expectations, because you are not separate from the universe. You are part of it. You are an extension of it. You are a focal point of its creative power. And when you use that power deliberately and consciously through your morning affirmations, you become a co-creator with the infinite intelligence that governs all things. A man once asked Dr. Joseph Murphy if affirmations meant that nothing bad would ever happen to him, if it meant he would never face challenges or difficulties. And Dr. Joseph Murphy explained that affirmations do not make you immune to all problems. Because you live in a world with other people who have free will, you live in a physical body that has certain requirements and limitations. You live on a planet that has natural processes and cycles, so difficulties may still arise. But what changes is how you experience those difficulties, how you respond to them, how you handle them, because when you have established a consciousness of peace and strength and trust through your morning affirmations, challenges do not overwhelm you, problems do not defeat you, obstacles do not discourage you. Instead, you remain calm, you remain confident, you remain certain that everything is working together for your good, and from this state of consciousness you can find solutions. You can take effective action, you can navigate through any difficulty with grace and wisdom. This is the real power of morning affirmations. Not that they make your life problem-free, but that they make you problem-proof. They strengthen your consciousness. They anchor you in truth. They connect you to the infinite source of wisdom and power within you, so that no matter what happens in your outer world, your inner world remains stable, your inner world remains peaceful, your inner world remains confident and joyful and expectant of good. A woman said that she used to be devastated whenever something went wrong. She would fall apart, she would panic, she would lose all hope. But after practicing morning affirmations for several months, she found that she could face difficulties with a sense of calm assurance. She could trust that she would be guided. She could know that even this challenge contained a hidden blessing, and this new consciousness transformed her entire life experience, not because her life became easier, but because she became stronger, more resilient, more capable of handling whatever life brought her. And this strength came not from her circumstances, but from her consistent daily practice of affirming truth, affirming good, affirming her connection to infinite power every single morning without fail. You must understand that the transformation you seek through morning affirmations is not a sudden dramatic event, but a gradual accumulation of small daily improvements, like drops of water that eventually fill a bucket, like tiny deposits that eventually become a fortune, like individual steps that eventually complete a journey of 1,000 miles. And this understanding is important because it helps you appreciate the value of consistency. It helps you see that every single morning practice matters, that no day of affirmations is ever wasted, that each time you speak your positive words, you are adding to a growing momentum that will eventually reach a tipping point where your whole life shifts. People often expect instant results. They want to do affirmations for a week and see their entire life transformed. And when this does not happen, they become discouraged and quit. But they do not realize that transformation was happening, change was occurring, patterns were shifting beneath the surface. And if they had just continued for another week, another month, another few months, they would have reached the breakthrough they were seeking. They would have experienced the harvest of the seeds they were planting. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had been doing affirmations for 3 months and he could not see any major changes in his life. He was ready to give up. And Dr. Joseph Murphy asked him to carefully review his 3 months and notice the small changes, the subtle improvements, the little shifts that had occurred. And as the man thought about it, he realized that he was sleeping better. He was worrying less. He was feeling more hopeful. He was noticing more opportunities. He was having better interactions with people. And Dr. Joseph Murphy showed him that these were not insignificant changes. These were the early signs of transformation. These were the first fruits of his daily practice. And if he would continue, these small changes would compound and multiply and eventually produce the major breakthrough he was waiting for. Because this is how growth works. This is how transformation occurs. It is always gradual before it is sudden. It is always invisible before it is visible. It is always internal before it is external. Think of a bamboo plant that shows no growth above ground for years, as it develops an extensive root system underground, and then suddenly it shoots up 90 feet in a matter of weeks. This is the nature of growth. It happens in stages. It requires preparation. It needs time to build a foundation. And your morning affirmations are like that bamboo plant. They are building a foundation in your consciousness. They are developing roots. They are preparing you for the breakthrough that will come suddenly after a period of patient, consistent practice. Every morning that you speak your affirmations, you are making a deposit in your consciousness bank account. You are adding to your spiritual reserve. You are strengthening the new neural pathways in your brain. And you are weakening the old limiting beliefs. You are raising your vibration. You are aligning yourself with your good. And all of this is happening even if you cannot see it, even if you cannot measure it, even if you feel like nothing is changing, because the most important changes are always the ones you cannot see. The changes in your beliefs, in your expectations, in your sense of self, in your relationship with the infinite power within you. And these internal changes must eventually produce external changes. They must eventually manifest as improved circumstances. They must eventually appear as new opportunities and better relationships and greater abundance and deeper peace. Because the outer is always a reflection of the inner. Always, without exception, And when you change the inner through consistent daily affirmations, the outer must change to match. This is why you must never measure your progress by how quickly things change in your visible world. Instead, measure your progress by how faithful you are to your practice, by how consistent you are with your affirmations, by how strong your faith is becoming, by how peaceful you feel, by how much more hopeful and optimistic you are than you used to be, because these are the real measures of success. These are the signs that transformation is occurring, and if these internal signs are present, the external manifestation is guaranteed. It is only a matter of time. It is only a matter of continuing your daily practice until the accumulated power of your affirmations reaches critical mass and your whole life shifts into a new and better pattern. The ultimate goal of your morning affirmation practice is not just to get things or achieve goals or improve circumstances. Although all of these will happen naturally as you practice consistently, the ultimate goal is to become a different person, to develop a new consciousness, to transform your identity from someone who struggles and worries and doubts to someone who trusts and expects and receives. And when this transformation of identity occurs, when you become someone who naturally thinks positive thoughts, who naturally expects good things, who naturally radiates confidence and peace and joy, then everything in your life changes effortlessly. Because you are no longer trying to force things to happen or manipulate circumstances or control outcomes, you are simply being who you really are, and your true self attracts its corresponding good automatically, inevitably. This is the real power of morning affirmations. They help you remember who you really are beneath all the layers of fear and doubt and limitation that you have accumulated over the years. They help you reconnect with your divine nature, with your true identity as a spiritual being having a temporary human experience, with your inherent worthiness and your unlimited potential and your connection to infinite intelligence and infinite supply and infinite love. When you wake up every morning and affirm, "I am strong, I am capable, I am loved, I am prosperous, I am guided," you are not trying to become these things. You are recognizing that you already are these things at the deepest level of your being. You are claiming your spiritual birthright. You are accepting the truth about yourself that circumstances may have hidden but could never destroy. And as you claim this truth consistently, as you affirm it daily, as you live from it moment by moment, it becomes your reality, not because it was not real before, but because you were not aware of it before. You were not accepting it before. You were not letting it express through you before. A woman told Dr. Joseph Murphy that affirmations had changed her life completely, but the change was not what she expected. She said, "I thought I would get a better job and more money, and that would make me happy. But what happened instead is that I became a happier person. And then the better job and the money came naturally because I was vibrating at a different frequency. I was showing up differently in the world. I was attracting different opportunities because I had become a different person, and this is exactly how it works." You do not use affirmations to manipulate reality. You use affirmations to transform yourself. And when yourself transforms, your reality transforms automatically to match the new you. Every morning when you speak your affirmations, remember that you are not begging or pleading or trying to convince the universe to give you something. You are declaring what is already true in the spiritual realm. You are claiming what is already yours by divine right. You are accepting what infinite love and infinite wisdom have already prepared for you. And all you must do is open yourself to receive it through your faith, through your acceptance, through your consistent affirmation of truth in the face of appearances, through your willingness to believe in the invisible and to trust the process and to persist in your practice until the invisible becomes visible and the spiritual becomes material and the desired becomes actual. This is the promise of morning affirmations. This is the power available to you. This is the transformation that awaits you if you will commit to this practice. If you will give it your full attention and your full faith and your full consistency, if you will make it as important as eating or breathing or sleeping, if you will protect your morning time and use it wisely to plant seeds of truth in your consciousness, seeds of prosperity and health and love and peace and joy and success, Seeds that will grow and multiply and eventually produce a harvest beyond anything you can currently imagine. A life so abundant and fulfilling and meaningful that you will look back in wonder at where you started and where you have arrived. And you will know with absolute certainty that it was your morning affirmations and your daily practice, your persistent faith, your consistent application of spiritual principle that brought you from where you were to where you are. And you will be grateful, and you will continue the practice because you will understand that this is not something you do until you get what you want. This is something you do forever because it keeps you connected to Source. It keeps you aligned with truth. It keeps you living from your highest self. And this is the only way to live. This is the abundant life you were created to experience. And it all begins with those first few moments of each new day when you open your eyes and choose your thoughts and speak your words and set your intentions and create your reality through the magnificent power of morning affirmations.